Welcome in, everybody. This is Region Football Wrap-Up right here on the Region Sports Network from the Athletic Performance Factory, the Centaur Bank Studios. Michael Brennan here along with Matt Skura. And we have got quite the night going here tonight at the Athletic Performance Factory, having all the fun with all the guys that have been making their way back to the studios after their games have ended, hanging out with the studio guys, talking all the sports, having a lot of laughs, especially at Justin Cole's expense. But, hey, we're enjoying it. I do want to say, Justin, great job tonight. I think, was this considered your on-air debut tonight, technically?
Yes.
All right. Well, I thought you did a bang-up job, really contributed to the broadcast. So thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. But, Matt, we got some finals we're going to go through. We got some conference champions that we're going to name here in just a moment. One of those conference championships was on the line tonight when Andrean went out to Lowell to the Inferno, and Andrean got the win 19-3 and became the NCC champions.
Yeah, Andrean's defense gave Lowell nothing. You know, Lowell had a big kickoff return after Andrean scored their first touchdown down to the Andrean 11-yard line. 3 plays, Andrean stonewalled them, field goal, and that was it for Lowell.
It works out. Over at Boone Grove, they got the win 21-14 over the Bishop Knoll Warriors. Out at West Side, this is another reason why Justin Cole has refused to put a microphone back on. West Side gets the win 36-0 over Calumet. If you didn't hear that big dramatic sigh, that is Justin Cole. Very upset his Calumet Warriors now 5-4 going into sectionals here next week. A game you saw right here on the Region, or you heard right here on the Region Sports Network. Maryville getting the win over Chesterton, 42-7. I'm not sure. This may be a situation where we have to look at Chesterton maybe falling out of the top 10 based on other winners. We'll have to kind of see how the committee wants to look at that. I have to go back and look and see who was on the bubble and see how that works. But Chesterton at number 9, maybe falling out of that top 10 poll to go into sectionals time. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe we gotta see. We gotta see who's on the cusp. I think Calumet was on the bubble, Lake Station was on the bubble, and both of those teams, and Bowman, and all 3 of those teams fell. So you might see
Chesterton might be able to stay in.
Yeah.
And how do you really punish Chesterton for losing 2 weeks in a row to the number 1 and 2 teams? So
yeah, you know, they dropped down to 10 maybe.
yeah,
you know,
maybe.
so.
Yeah, because Morton. We'll reveal what happened to Morton here in just a moment. Frontier got the win over South Newton 49-0. Another conference champion. You have the Griffith Panthers all over the Wheeler Bearcats 34-10. Final in that one, so Griffith improves to 8-1 on the year. Over at Hanover, they got the win 42-0 over Hammond Central. The Hobart Brickies, they did not let up at any point during this game. They got the win over Highland 74-0. Thursday night, we had a final. Knox got the win over Bowman Academy 64-0. Did I cut you off there for a second?
No.
We're good? Okay.
No, we're good.
Over in Valparaiso, Lake Central got the win 21-14 over the Vikings. As we pointed out, that's the first time since 2014 the Indians have gone into Viking territory to get a win. Over at River Forest, kind of one of the shocker games of the night for some people. Again, you saw it right here on the Region Sports Network. River Forest, the Ingots, getting the win over Lake Station 19-6. Another conference champion crowned there in that one.
Yeah, Lake Station won the north side of the GSS. And but again, yeah, you're right. This is a shocker. Lake Station coming in the game at 6-2, you know, falls to River Forest at River Forest in a huge rivalry game.
Moving on down the line, Crown Point continues to do what it does game in, game out. 42-28 the win over Michigan City. This one was looking like it might, go Michigan City's way at some point. It did not, unfortunately, for the Wolves. Hung around, though. That first half was pretty impressive. It was 7-7 at the half and scoreless after one. Not something that you see very often out of this Crown Point Bulldog team who won the Duneland, by the way.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. Michigan City's been a second-half team all year, so you were expecting big things out of them in the second half as long as they could hang in the first half, which they did. It was 7-7 going into halftime, but then Crown Point got the ball coming out of half, 2-play score, 3-and-out, score again, so interception, score again, so it's typical Crown Point defense taking over the game. And
but Zaire McKinney had himself a night. What we said, like 8 or 9 catches for 190 something yards. Pretty 2 scores. Pretty impressive night for Michigan City overall. Our number 10 team in our RSN top 10 poll, the number 10 Morton Governors, all over East Chicago Central, 58-6. So we see a little bit of a flip between Morton and Chesterton potentially. We'll see how that plays out with the committee.
And Morton Governors won their conference championship by beating East Chicago Central.
So Morton, a conference champion yet again. A score that made our sports director very happy. Munster Mustangs getting the victory over KV, 17-14. He gives us the big thumbs up, which indicates the sports director's in a happy mood. So always love when the sports director's in a happy mood. Over in South Bend St. Joe's, Penn went into town. These were 2 undefeated teams, both 8-0. We weren't really sure how this one was going to play out, but it is the Penn Kingsmen who get the win at 38-6. This is shape, and we're going to talk about sectional play here in just a few weeks, but looking to be a sectional championship. If you were to just go based on numbers and odds, and obviously you got to play the game, so there's always upsets that can brew, but you're kind of looking at forecasting things, maybe Penn, Crown Point there for that sectional championship, which should shape up to be a good one. Yeah,
definitely. And Penn will be the fortunate home team in that one for them.
So that's a huge advantage.
The way all the brackets shape out and everything. So
that's a huge advantage for the Kingsmen. Moving on down the line, over in North Judson, both teams, North Judson and Pioneer, both teams 7-1 coming into tonight. Somebody had to suffer their second loss of the year, and it was North Judson, as Pioneer gets the win 36-18. LaPorte getting the win 35-22 over the Portage Indians. So Portage, unfortunately, goes 0-9 on the year. They will have to play Penn when we get ready for sectionals here. We'll show you that bracket in just a little bit. Over at New Prairie, they get their 3rd win of the year with a 44-35 victory over South Bend, Washington. And then North Newton over Tri-County, 42-6. And then our final score of the evening, it was the LaVille Lancers all over the Whiting Oilers, 70-7. So a lot of lopsided scores kind of around Northwest Indiana, around the state of Indiana as well. It's going to happen from time to time. You're hoping for some close ball games. We did have a few close ones, at least for most of the game. And then sometimes those fourth quarters just seem the wheels just kind of fall off for some teams.
Yeah, conditioning, size of school, what you got. Some teams got a lot of guys going both ways, and they just run out of gas, especially with the high-powered offenses moving back and forth and up and down the field.
Correct.
So.
All right, we're going to step aside for just a moment. On the other side of the break, we are going to bring you those sectional matchups that are coming your way next week. I got to move forward, apparently. Sorry, I was getting out of the shot. Got to stay, got to lean forward and stay in the shot. A little behind-the-scenes action right there. Thanks, Justin Cole. All right, we're going to step aside for just a moment. When we come back, we'll take a look at the sectional brackets. We'll start with Class 1A. On the other side of the break, you're watching the Region Football Wrap-Up Show right here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At Strachan Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep, skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strachanvantil.com or download our app today.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Company's Insurance Professionals, Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
From lighting up Friday night football to powering the classrooms that shape the students of Lake County, IBEW Local 697 is proud to support our region's schools and the communities we call home. A career as a union electrician could be your next great move. Your next cap might be a hard hat. IBEW Local 697, powering futures, powering the region.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Welcome back. Region Football wrap-up here on the Region Sports Network from the Centier Bank Studios. The Athletic Performance Factory, Michael Brender, Matt Skura alongside. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the sectional matchups that we'll start seeing next week. Hard to believe we're already in sectional times. We just had the sectional draw this past week as Justin Cole is moving the cameras around here. Boom, there's your bracket. Oh, look at this. What a great producer Justin Cole is. All right, take a look at the first matchup of the evening. You've got, this will be next week, of course, you've got LaVille taking on Culver Community. LaVille, as you have pointed out, with according to our friends at John Harrell, 35% chance to win this particular sectional. So odds-on favorite to win this particular matchup here. And then you move it down to North Judson and South Central. North Judson, the odds-on favorite at around 42% to win this sectional overall. So game two looking like you might have the winner there.
Yeah, the winner of game two is the odds-on favorite, obviously, to win the sectional there with a Judson-LaVille matchup. But yeah, North Judson's ranked 2 in 1A according to the coaches poll. So they're the favorite to win, but they just took a loss to a potential regional opponent in Pioneer tonight.
Yeah.
So.
And we did have, what was the matchup we said we had already? North Newton taking on
Bowman Academy.
Yeah, that happened earlier this year, which Bowman, was that the matchup we were talking about?
Yeah, Bowman with the win.
Yep, Bowman got the win 34-14 in that last matchup. That was back on October 4th. So see how this one plays out. Should be interesting over in sectional 41. Talk about a little bit of a gauntlet for some of these schools. Certainly for Bowman, a long trek to try to get their way through there because obviously LaVille and North Judson at the top of that bracket. So it's kind of one of the tough draws for a team like North Judson. Maybe you're the odds-on favorite, but you would want to meet maybe LaVille a little bit later on as opposed to that second week of sectionals.
Yeah, you always want to play the best two teams playing the championship game, but if you got to go through them, you might as well get through them as soon,
And then next, the team that's, and again, we're looking at John Harrell's, their percentages with their formulas, however they figure these things out. West Central would be the next odds-on favorite to win that sectional at 21%. Then it gets under a percentage for the next teams to get through. So obviously, that you look at those numbers; those mean nothing to these teams. They're just going to go out there and play. Right.
Yeah. West Central, according to John Harrell, and looking at the brackets, West Central has the easiest route because they don't have to go. They only have to go through Judson or LaVille. They don't have to go through both of them. But don't look down on Bowman. They're a threat.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They're the fourth highest rated team.
The only downfall for Bowman would be they would have to go to West Central because they played the first round home game. And West Central's away, so West Central will get the home game if they win.
So we'll see how that one plays out over the course of these next couple of weeks. I believe sectional championships based on schedule with it the first week in November.
First weekend in November,
yep.
Yeah.
So the first Friday in November. Let's move up to Class 2A, Sectional 33. This is going to be an interesting one in Sectional 33. Wheeler Lake Station will face each other along with Rensselaer Central versus Boone Grove. Then you've got Bremen versus Whiting with Andrean waiting in the wings. And, we said Andrean probably one of the teams with the best shots to potentially make it all the way down to Indianapolis. And, they even drew the first round bye.
Yeah, you got to buy. You get a chance to heal up everything. Then you play the winner of Wheeler Lake Station, which Wheeler would be a tough draw for them, but Wheeler doesn't have that powerful offense they had last year. They're putting up a ton of points, but they're just not with the young backfield. I don't know if they're equipped to
and probably
score on that Andrean defense.
And probably playing a lot more of a lopsided game than they were probably expecting against the Griffith Panthers tonight.
Right.
Probably hoping to kind of hang with them, if not get the victory to end the season. So kind of going on, playing that route as well. Obviously, taking on Lake Station, who also is coming off of a loss. You got two teams coming off of probably, in their eyes, heartbreaking losses. So see how this one plays out, and then again, the winner gets the Andrean 59ers. So we do have potential in this one to see the two odds-on favorite. Andrean is the heavy favorite in this one, about 70%. And then you got Rensselaer Central, who's behind them at about 13%. So they would be kind of that next team, and they are in the bottom of the bracket. So you have potential for those two best teams to potentially face each other in the sectional championship.
Yeah, it played out well for Andrean and Rensselaer. Wheeler probably could have asked to be put where a Whiting or a Bremen is, as far as like a seeding type.
Yeah, if you were to
seed it, but Wheeler still got a great draw. They'll get they have to go to Lake Station, but they'll get Andrean at home if they win. So you can't ask for a better setup to be playing the best team at your place.
Correct. All right, let's move up to Class 3A. We've got sectional 25 to look at here. Another behemoth of a sectional here. Glenn and Calumet. Calumet going to be looking to rebound after the loss this week. Trying to just help Justin Cole out and help his mood out a little bit.
Relieve the pain a little bit.
Ease the pain a little bit. They will get the winner. If they were to advance, they get the winner of the Mishawaka Marion versus River Forest matchup. So River Forest coming off of a win this week, one that probably a lot of people wouldn't have picked them to win. So running a little bit of a momentum streak here potentially against Mishawaka Marion.
Yeah, and they got a good draw. Mishawaka Marion typically a perennial power here, but they're having a down year this year. So River Forest has the potential to have two home games there if Calumet can knock off Glenn in the sectional. And then you got the top two teams in the sectional: Griffith taking on Knoll and Knox taking on Jimtown, and
the Jimmies.
Yep. That potential matchup will be at Knox in the second round.
Yeah, that'll be tough for the Griffith Panthers who have to head out to Knox, and that's just at this point, they got the win yesterday, 64-0, kind of running as a powerhouse team in a lot of ways. So that'll be a tough matchup for the Griffith Panthers.
Yeah, and you never know. Knox has a grass field, so you don't know. You never know what the weather's going to be like and how well maintained.
Yeah, that's
the
a good
grass
point.
field is. I remember playing some games at Griffith in the middle of October, late October, early November, and the whole field, middle of the field between the hash marks was kitty litter, to soak up all the water and stuff. So
Knox is almost 60% odds-on favorite to win that sectional. Griffith follows behind at about 30%. So should be a good matchup. Unfortunately, one of those that you won't see in the sectional championship itself. They'll kind of be in the semifinals, but be a tough matchup for the Griffith Panthers. But they've shown when they've had some opportunities to really shine, they have proven to do that. And this is going to be one of those moments where they're going to be ready to shine.
They'll definitely be prepared. It's another Phil Mason Russ Racky showdown there, just not in maroon and gold and black and gold. It's I guess it would be maroon and white.
There you go.
For Knox and black and gold.
There you go. All right,
switching roles.
Just switching roles and a little bit of colors. Let's move up to Class 4A Sectional 17. This is one of the tough ones here in the state of Indiana. You got Hanover Central and Lowell. Lowell coming off of that loss tonight against the Andrean 59ers. Hanover with the win, but Lowell gets to play at home. They're definitely hoping to put on a little bit more of an offensive firepower than they did tonight.
Yeah, you know what? This bracket couldn't have played out any better for Hobart and Lowell. Hanover kind of, probably got a crappy draw. They played Lowell earlier in the year and struggled. But
Then you got Westside and KV kind of doing battle there, and then like you said, Hobart and New Prairie, and this is kind of setting up if you were to go with those percentage odds that we've kind of been looking at. Hobart at 52 and Lowell at nearly 40. So it's kind of one of the closer ones that we've seen in terms of who might win this sectional. But as you mentioned, this is going to be a close one. This was a close matchup when they met back on September 26th. It was only a 3-point game, so we'll see how this one plays out.
I'd like to see how the formula played out to where Lowell or Hobart is a 52%
versus Lowell.
Yeah, versus Lowell's 40% because Lowell beat Hobart,
Yeah.
And I know it's all computerized and everything like that, and it's not just the
way
eye test.
Well, this would play out. So both teams get to have week 1 home games.
I'm venturing to guess it would all depend on the Highland East Chicago and the Gary Westside KV game because Lowell will be on the road no matter what in game 2. But if
but so would Hobart, wouldn't they?
Because
they're the home team. So
if Westside wins and Hobart
that's right.
wins,
if Westside's win, okay,
Hobart will be at home, and then they'll be automatically on the road for sectionals. But if KV wins, Hobart will be going to KV,
and it could be,
and then potentially be the home team in.
Okay, so we got to wait to see kind of more.
Yeah, you got it's the 2 middle games that make the difference.
Because I'm just trying to forecast who might have because I feel like whoever has home field advantage for that sectional championship.
Because
that might be the biggest factor.
Lowell's guaranteed to be on the road no matter what in the second week.
Yes, because they're the home team right now.
Yeah, so by IHSA standards, both teams would have 1 road game and 1 home game. So then the bottom bracket would get the home field advantage.
So it's Hobart that may get to host. Well, we would just kind of see how things play out. But I tell you what, you talk about 2 environments that are probably the best in Northwest Indiana to go watch a game, Hobart and Lowell. Those fan bases are off the charts. Those places are going to be – either one of those places is going to be rocking during sectionals, especially when they play each other. No question about it.
Yep, that's a big rivalry.
All right, moving up to Class 5A. Now, this won't be next week. This is a bye, so they will play 2 weeks. This will be played on Halloween night as we move on to Class 5A Sectional 9 because there's just less teams in these classes, so they will get a bye next week. So you got the first matchup there between Munster and Hammond Central. Then the winner of that one will get the winner of Maryville and Morton. Again, situation where really, in a lot of people's eyes, the championship is that game number 2.
Yeah, Morton, you got to play Maryville regardless. It's the same scenario, but and they get them at home. Morton gets
good draw from
gets them at home, so good draw from Morton.
The Governors,
but ideally you want to play for a championship and be able to, worst case scenario, you end your season playing for a championship.
But it's nice for either Munster or Hammond Central. They get to compete. Right. In a sectional championship. They say they fought in one, which is awesome.
Yeah, you had a rough year, but you still have the opportunity to play for a championship.
Yeah, no question about it. So it'll be really interesting. That Hammond team, the Hammond Morton team, I should say, we always, a lot of question marks about that team going, at the beginning of the season, how they perform throughout the year. But, man, Maryville is just one of those steady as she goes types of teams. Yeah,
Maryville's offense is clicking on all cylinders. Another 40-point performance from that offense, and defense is looking stingy.
So that is sectional number 9. Let's move over to sectional number 10. This one is more Duneland heavy, as you've got Michigan City taking on Valpo. And, normally this would be a really, really tough matchup to pick who you might want to win this one. However, Valparaiso this year just not the same Valpo team that we've seen in the past. So, obviously numbers-wise, you're looking at Michigan City in this matchup.
Yeah, and Michigan City beat Valpo earlier in the year, and it was a good game, real good game. A couple mistakes by Valpo cost them the game, but it'll be another great matchup. Yeah, Michigan City, the odds-on favorite, about 42% the chance to win this sectional overall. And a lot of it's going to be said by this next matchup, LaPorte and Chesterton. These two played a really close matchup when they met in the regular season. I was on the call for that matchup, and man, I'll tell you what, LaPorte has a lot of fight, and Chesterton has a really strong defense.
I'm sticking by it. I think that that defense may be a reason why this team could make a surprise upset. They've got a 28% chance. So we'll see what, it looked like Michigan City tonight maybe started cleaning up some of those issues that they've been having in terms of kind of, making their mistakes and costing them some yardage that potentially could cost them games. If they clean that up, this team is going to be a team to keep an eye on in 5A, but certainly Chesterton wants to make some noise as well. They want to say, you know what, we're ready for a little upset special. How about that? Take your numbers and, put them where the sun don't shine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chesterton's looking tough there with the defense. Getting into the Laporte's got a, strong defense also, and if they can get that running game going and mixing that pass, same thing. They're both very similar teams, strong defenses and time managing offenses.
All right, let's move up to Class 6A and sectional number 1. And this is going to be a showdown, and unfortunately, it's going to be in the second week. So that first Friday in November, it's going to be quite the showdown. If you are looking at future matchups here, because Crown Point obviously was all over Lake Central earlier in the season, and Penn is just right now a powerhouse. Portage 0-9 in the regular season. So this is looking like, you're forecasting out and you're making picks. This is looking like it's going to be a Crown Point Penn matchup. And the benefit for the Kingsmen is that it's going to be played at their place in a sectional championship down the road.
Yeah,
but Lake Central wants to play spoiler. They're
right.
They're going to be hungry and motivated to try to spoil some fun there for Crown Point.
Oh, definitely. It should be a good matchup that first week second week of sectionals, first week for 6A. But Crown Point's looking to keep rolling. Lake Central's looking to play the spoiler and get the big upset. That would make everybody's season, make your senior year right there, just by beating a ranked team. And they're, according to the coaches poll, Crown Point's ranked 3rd, Penn 7, so 2 top 10 teams potentially for a sectional championship. Yeah, if Lake Central at some point were to pull off that upset, that would certainly be the stunner in the state of Indiana, no question about it. And that Lake Central team, their record doesn't show probably how well they really have played throughout the year. As we mentioned, that team has been in a lot of close ball games, and then that fourth quarter happens, and that's kind of when they lose it, and all of a sudden the score gets a little bit lopsided. But they played a little bit better than that record suggests, and they were able to win tonight here to finish things out. So 3 wins on the year. Crown Point, powerhouse, and until you beat them, they're going to continue to be the powerhouse, and there's no reason to bet against them at this point. But Lake Central, you never know what kind of motivation they might come out with and head to the Hub City in a couple weeks. Even if you can get you lose, but you get a few scores to get building blocks for the next season. You get kids excited. Lalich will be back. Yeah. He'll be chomping at the bit to get going there for his junior season. Yeah, no question. So, no question about it. All right, that will begin to wrap things up here on the Region Football Wrap-Up Show. Make sure you stay tuned all week long. We'll have our electrifying plays. We'll have our peak performers. We'll have a new, I believe we'll have a new top 10 rolled out to get us into sectionals, and Region Football Weekly to get you ready for sectionals as well. So they'll dive in a little bit more on what the action is going to be. And I want to make sure with Mike. Mike, we are going to have the committee's going to come up with a new top 10 going into sectionals week. So we have one more going into sectionals, right? So this coming week we'll have one. For all the guys in the studio, we had Matt Skura, we had Justin Cole, Aaron Svetlin, Graham Sticken, and Zach Miller doing all the really great work. Mr. Dwan, can I have you reveal the crew? Sorry, I'm kind of calling you out. My bad. Calling you out. Sorry. And then, of course, our executive producer, Chris Ramirez, operations manager, Rich Castillo, Zach Miller doing the producing.
Now I got to turn my thinking cap on and think about our 4 crews. Thank you, gentlemen, for holding it down tonight. For us at River Forest and Wheeler, it was myself. Clint Klaus was producing, Andrew Mild and Paul Vela. At Maryville for that game, that was Riley Doyle producing. Quincy Bell was on the play-by-play, and Sam Daniels was the color. Oh, you got the email for me. Thank you very much.
I could have just done that, but
at Valparaiso, it was Kevin Malater on the play-by-play, Chris Fig on the color, Zach Snelly, the producer, and Thomas Marsh on camera. And at the Wheeler and Griffith game was Leo Staudiker, Jay Simmons, and Joe Heinrich holding it down. Thank you all, everybody. Could not thank you all enough for taking it all, doing everything on these Friday nights. What's been a fantastic regular season for us. And hey, we got plenty more to go. But yeah, and then you mentioned Chris, Rico, Heather Ames as well, our sales manager, and everybody that made this possible. Yeah. Thank you guys, of course, as well. And good night for me, everybody.
Mike Dewan keeping it crispy as always, the great sports director. Love it. Doing a great job as always. And it has been a pleasure. 9 weeks of regular season action is in the books. Hard to believe we are done with the regular season and moving on to sectionals, but we're there.
Pay attention to our Facebook page. We'll be posting what games we're going to be doing next week because it's not set in stone yet. Because since the state tournament starts, we can pretty much we have a free for all, so we can get whoever we want. Yeah, we got to get approval from sites and stuff like that. So got to figure out which games are going to get covered, and the road to Lucas Oil Stadium begins next week. Can't wait to start bringing you all that action. So we will see you soon. Make sure you stay tuned all week long. This has been Region Football Wrap-Up right here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Old Man Winter is just around the corner, and that means temperatures will soon begin to drop. And a region winter is not the time to be left out in the cold. The professionals at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling can tune up that old furnace or install a new unit that can last for years. Your family deserves to stay comfortable this winter, and with 24/7 emergency service, comfort is just a phone call away. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, 219-923-4441. Or for more info, the website is forajobdoneright.com.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step toward your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
Life isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet moments that matter the most. Of effort, of a dream taking root. And behind those moments, there's trust. Thank you for trusting Centier Bank with those moments and making us a part of your story. Thank you for the opportunity to earn your trust.
The Athletic Performance Factory is Northwest Indiana's premier athletic training center. The 40,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility features batting cages, a sand training room, a new outdoor turf infield, and so much more. Check out the facility for one of their daily classes at 3150 45th Street in Highland. Interested in signing up for team workouts or individual lessons? Check out their website at trainapf.com or contact them at 219-750-1087. Athletic Performance Factory, where athletes are made.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, hut.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce. This is where the athlete shops.
Hi, my name is Mark Macknick. I'm the owner of Mark Macknick CPA firm in Highland, Indiana on Kennedy Avenue. I've been working with Region Sports for years now. Started working with Chris years ago, just on some special projects, advertising here and there. After a while, kind of increased the advertising. Mainly was doing it for the community involvement. It's such a great network and program they do with the high school sports. But as time went by, I started getting on there more frequently. And then the phone starts ringing. And I was getting calls all the time from people. Hey, I saw your ad on so-and-so football game. I saw your ad on a basketball game. And it's really helped my business. It's increased the volume. We're a tight community in Northwest Indiana, sports-wise, and just a lot of community involvement. So that's mainly why I got into it. I remember watching one game. It was a basketball game, and I think there was a little bit of an altercation. And as the altercation was happening, my ad was right on the bottom, and someone typed in, "I wonder what Mark Macknick's thinking right now." And I was thinking, wow, this is awesome. It's really been a great feature for my business. It's the only advertising I do. I don't advertise anywhere else other than Region Sports. It's for the business, but mainly for the involvement with the community. I played high school baseball here in Highland, and ever since I've been advertising on Region Sports, a lot of my old coaches are now my clients. A lot of my old teammates come in here. My recommendation, if you're a business here in Northwest Indiana, I think Region Sports is, for your money, it's one of the best places that you can advertise. I mean, I can advertise on billboards. I could do anywhere I want to. And I choose Region Sports, mainly because I get a lot of feedback, especially on the high school level. A lot of the parents, if they can't make a game, they're watching it online. They're watching a replay, the grandparents. So it's done wonders for my business, and it's my go-to for advertising. It's the only spot I would advertise. So if you're a business owner in the area, really look into advertising on Region Sports. It's going to be well worth your money, and you'll make tenfold on what you're spending. Region Sports Network, they're the only game in town, but they're more than just a game.